Hello and welcome to the Mount Fuji climbing channel. In this video, we will explain the process of day hiking on Mount Fuji. By watching this video, you will learn the following points. 1. Whether it is possible to do a day hike on Mount Fuji. 2. The general schedule for day hiking and staying overnight at mountain huts. 3. Important considerations for day hiking and staying overnight. This channel aims to provide useful information for beginners or those with no climbing experience who are planning to climb Mount Fuji. We appreciate it if you watch the video until the end. First, it's important to note that when we talk about day hiking, it refers to ascending and descending Mount Fuji during daylight hours. This is different from the night climbing method of starting the ascent from the 5th station at night. There are two options for climbing Mount Fuji: day hiking and staying overnight at mountain huts. Let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of each. The advantage of a day hiking plan is that even those who can't take days off can enjoy climbing Mount Fuji. However, the main disadvantage is the physical stamina required. For beginners, it takes over 6 hours to climb Mount Fuji, and the oxygen level at the summit is only about 70% of that at sea level. It requires significant physical endurance to walk in a challenging environment for a long time. Additionally, on clear days during daytime ascents, there are no shaded areas on Mount Fuji, and direct sunlight can be exhausting. If it rains, it will require even more physical endurance to walk for an extended period in the rain. On the other hand, staying overnight at a mountain hut allows you to rest your body along the way, making it a more suitable option for those with less confidence in their physical stamina. However, depending on the season and day of the week, mountain huts can be crowded, so adequate sleep preparation is necessary. If your goal is to see the sunrise, you will need to prepare for the coldest hours in the early morning when you'll be outside. Considering the crowds, most people climb Mount Fuji for the sunrise, so staying overnight at a mountain hut is more common. In contrast, for day hiking, you can choose a different time to climb and avoid the crowds. Now, let's see how you can make a day hike on Mount Fuji possible. The easiest way for a day hike on Mount Fuji is the Fujinomiya route. With the highest starting point, you can access the summit in the shortest time. The round trip takes about 9 to 10 hours, so if you start climbing early in the morning, you can return to the starting point by evening. The Yoshida route also takes about 9.5 to 10.5 hours for the round trip. If you are physically fit, day hiking is possible. Conversely, the Subashiri route and Gotemba route are difficult for beginners to complete as day hikes. Even on the Fujinomiya route or Yoshida route, it takes at least 12 hours or more for beginners who are not accustomed to mountain climbing, so it is not recommended. The day hiking plan is intended for those who are confident in their hiking abilities. One important point to note is that there are no early morning buses available. To return before dark, you need to depart from the trailhead at 6 a.m., preferably no later than 7 a.m. However, buses are often not available at that time, so using a taxi is necessary for most people who want to do a day hike. Furthermore, there is a risk of missing the last bus if your descent is delayed. Be mindful of the time while hiking. Another option is to stay at the 5th station and depart early in the morning. In fact, for those accustomed to climbing mountains, Mount Fuji is a mountain that can be completed within a day. For people who regularly hike or engage in activities like hiking, a day hike is possible. However, for those who are not accustomed to walking long distances, it is recommended to consider the mountain hut plan mentioned later. Here is a typical schedule for a day hike. Depart from the 5th station between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. Arrive at the 7th station between 7 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Arrive at the 8th station between 8:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. Arrive at the 9th station between 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Reach the summit between 11 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Start the descent between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Arrive at the 7th station between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Arrive at the 5th station between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. It's crucial to start the descent by 2 p.m. If you go any later, it will be dangerous to descend in complete darkness. Choosing to stay overnight at a mountain hut on Mount Fuji allows you to divide the strenuous ascent into 2 days, making it more manageable for those with less physical endurance. It provides a sense of security for climbing beginners. A common plan is to depart from the trailhead around noon and stay overnight at a mountain hut located around the 7th or 8th station. Additionally, staying at a mountain hut allows you to acclimatize to the higher elevation during the rest period. This reduces the risk of altitude sickness. Since the descent is in the morning to early afternoon, you don't need to worry too much about bus schedules. However, during the peak season, especially on the Yoshida route, mountain huts can be crowded. Many people are packed into limited spaces, making it difficult to rest comfortably. To have a more pleasant climbing experience, it is recommended to prepare earplugs and eye masks. When staying at a mountain hut, you will receive a simple dinner. Please don't expect elaborate meals as it is challenging to supply water and ingredients at mountain huts, and a simple breakfast varies depending on the hut, but typically includes onigiri, etc. Once dinner is over, you should go to sleep immediately. On the next day, breakfast is provided, allowing you to start your day at your own pace. Depending on your plan, you can start climbing towards the summit at around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or spend time at the mountain hut until sunrise. The schedule may vary. Here is a typical schedule for a mountain hut plan, assuming Yoshida route or Fujinomiya route. Day 1. Depart from the 5th station between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Arrive at the mountain hut, around 7th to 8th station, between 3 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Go to bed between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Day 2. Depart from the mountain hut between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. Reach the summit between 4:30 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. Sunrise at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Start the descent between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. Arrive at the 5th station between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. Aim to arrive at the mountain hut around 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. They may accept later arrivals, but it could inconvenience others. In addition, we will climb to the summit from late night to early morning. The period before witnessing the sunrise, especially the sunrise waiting, can become extremely cold. Let's take even more measures for protection against the cold compared to a day trip climbing. Furthermore, if you choose to watch the sunrise from the summit, it is important to note that the area near the summit becomes heavily congested, causing traffic jams. Many people want to witness the sunrise from the summit, and since the timing cannot be spread out, a large number of people gather on the narrow mountain trails, resulting in significant congestion. If you are flexible about watching the sunrise from the summit, we recommend a plan where you watch it from a mountain hut on the Yamanashi Prefecture side, such as the Yoshida route. During the waiting time for the sunrise, the temperature drops significantly, and it can be challenging. It can be tough to wait at the summit without a place to shelter from the wind. Avoiding the congestion and watching the sunrise from a mountain hut is a highly recommended plan. Moreover, with the mountain hut plan, the physical burden is not as severe. When aiming to watch the sunrise from the summit, you would typically depart from the mountain hut around 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., walking on a dark and challenging mountain trail. There is a higher risk of falls and experiencing the effects of sleep deprivation and altitude sickness. In contrast, with the mountain hut plan, you can rest your body until around 5 a.m. and then start climbing after watching the sunrise. This reduces the physical strain significantly. The time when people who watch the sunrise from the summit start descending varies depending on their foot fatigue, but it is usually around 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. The time required to reach the summit from the mountain hut is about 2 hours, so you can plan to descend around 12 p.m. and reach the summit by 2 p.m. Thus, the concern about descent time is generally not a significant issue. To avoid congestion, enjoy your time on Mount Fuji, and watch the sunrise. Consider the mountain hut plan where you don't necessarily have to wait at the summit. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or doubts about Mount Fuji climbing, please feel free to write them in the comments section. We would be delighted to hear from you.